complimentary rides to and from the park, even extra time with your family in the park. And right now, you can save up to 25% on rooms at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels. So if you're not staying here, just think what you might be missing.
A victory until Tyus Battle hit the dagger from deep in the corner, giving Syracuse an 82-81 victory, extending their winning streak to 5 straight. This afternoon, they're back on the road as we welcome you inside the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the home of the Panthers. Today, it's the Pitt Panthers against the Syracuse Orange. Hi, everybody. Along with Dave Odom, the 3-time ACC Coach of the Year. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us for more ACC basketball. And you look at that 5-game winning streak, things really changed for Jim Bay. He inserted John Gillum into that starting lineup.
And you know, John Gillum had a career night at North Carolina State just 10 days ago when they had an overtime win. They've been very good ever since.
He had 43 points in that game, one of 2 43-point performances in the ACC. And you look at Pittsburgh, they snapped an 8-game skid, beating BC. Once again, they leaned heavily on Michael Young as he came up big for the Panthers.
And when Pittsburgh is good, Michael Young usually produces. He's still the leading scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference, averaging over 20 points a game. He's just coming off his 3rd 30-point game this season.
And back in January, Syracuse knocked down 14 threes to knock out Pittsburgh by 11. You mentioned Michael Young's 30-point games. Jamal Artis also with 3 30-point games, nursing a sprained ankle. He's questionable for this one this afternoon.
Look at this.
KD's back in OKC to take on Russell Westbrook. This is gonna be crazy. Turn down for KD versus Russ. Turn down for Ben Jackson. Turn down for KD's return to OKC. Warriors, Thunder, tonight on ABC.
Where a king ruled. Where a bear...
It's just a cough.
If you could see your cough, you'd see just how far it can spread. Robitussin DM Max is now better tasting with the same fast, powerful cough relief. Robitussin DM Max, because it's never just a cough.
To achieve financial security, there are 2 halves to consider: protect and grow. Instead of focusing on insurance or investments alone, we bring them together into one whole picture. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
You by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Gatorade, win from within. And by Bojangles, it's bow time.
Weather is warmed up in Pittsburgh. It's actually a pretty nice Saturday afternoon in Pittsburgh as we take a look at the Oakland Zoo. They told us before the game, Coach, that they are ready to go and raise the roof here in the Peterson Event Centers once again. Now let's check the starting lineups brought to you by Food Lions. For Syracuse, Andrew White III averaging almost 21 points a game in conference play. White, Gillen, Lydon, and Battle all averaging in double figures. Lydon at 7.8 rebounds as well. Jamal Artis, we talked about that sprained ankle. Michael Young and Artis continue to lead the ACC 1-2 in scoring and overall. And Chris Jones, Sheldon Jeter, Cameron Johnson. Jeter coming off a big game in that victory over BC, 17 points and 8 rebounds. And they'll have to, well, that didn't take long, Coach. On the opening tip, it was controlled by Pittsburgh, and the whistle was blown. Jamie Lucky, Tim Nestor, and Raymond Steins Jr. blowing the whistles and wearing the striped shirts here in Pittsburgh this afternoon. Syracuse controlling the opening tip. Here's Mr. Gillen right here. Talk about a short bench. Tyler Lydon's played every minute the last 5 games for Syracuse.
He doesn't play that hard in terms of going up and down the court trying to run, but he's more of a spacer on offense, and then, of course, he's going to take his place in the zone on the backside. And
at the top of the broadcast, we said there were 2 40-plus games of the ACC. They're both on the floor in this game. The other, Jamal Artis, he had 43 against Louisville. This is Artis with a basketball, playing with that sprained ankle. You were at practice yesterday. Didn't play much. Didn't do anything, did he?
No, he didn't. And I think what they were trying to see is if a day of rest would, take care of some of that swelling that was in there.
Well, Artis is battling on the offensive glass, and there's the whistle. He'll be going to the line to shoot a couple.
Well, a couple of things that I've seen already. Number one, they've got Artis guarding Gillen, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Gillen moves around a lot. That means Artis are going to have to test his ankle early on. But he's been very active on the offensive boards the first possession as well.
Artis with 6 points after spraining that ankle against PC. He and Young both with 3 30-point games for the Panthers this year. 73% from the line, shooting 50 that time, 1 of 2.
I'm going to watch the Artis-Gillen matchup closely early on. I think defensively that's where he'll be stressed the most, trying to stop and start, change directions.
This is Leiden with the basketball, averaging about 15 in conference play. 10 on the shot clock for the Orange. Down to 6. Andrew White. Thompson. And the left-hander puts it in, his first bucket.
You got to like the way he caught it, brought it in, settled himself, wasn't in a hurry, used the left hand. Good hook.
You know, Coach, we mentioned the first meeting, 11-point victory for Syracuse. Really not that bad considering the fact that they went on a 22-0 run to open up a 36-8 lead. Only winning that one 77-66. So Pittsburgh came to life in the second half. It was a missed opportunity, empty possession for the Panthers.
Yeah, good idea, bad pass, bad catch. But they had the proper spacing.
Leiden down on the baseline, and he walked with the basketball.
One thing you're going to find when that ball goes in the low post on both ends, the defensive team is going to double if they can possibly get to it. Syracuse out of the zone, Pitt out of the man.
Jim Boeheim in his 41st year, postseason in 38, 40 seasons, 900 victories. If you talk to Syracuse fans, you can add 101 to that 900 total, Coach. It'll push him over 1,000.
I can't count that out. Particularly when you talk about coaching wins.
Well, you had your share during your days at Wake Forest and South Carolina. Let's take a look at the Carolina Ford keys to the game.
Well, certainly for Syracuse, they have got to own the lane. They've got to dominate the boards inside. To do that, you got to get up and down. For Pittsburgh, don't drown with the threes. Just because they're playing a zone, don't let that zone force you outside and drag you into shooting too many threes. You got to have great balance.
Well, Sheldon Jeter was saying in that first game they stood around in the first half against Syracuse. They actually came back and played well in the second half and hit some threes.
Well, that was one of the things that they worked on yesterday was movement against the zone. I'm surprised Pittsburgh has had good pressure on the perimeter so far, and it causing a turnover there. And look who brings it up, Artis, and he's going through, and now to Jeter.
Both teams, each team with two turnovers early on here from Pittsburgh. Panthers trying to make it back-to-back wins in ACC play for the first time after opening up the season 12-3. Beat Virginia after losing to Notre Dame by just 1, and then the losses started to add up. 3 on the shot clock for the Panthers. Another empty opportunity. There's going to be a shot clock violation for the Pitt Panthers. That's the second one already.
And when you look at it defensively, it was caused by the double team on the baseline, out of the zone. They couldn't get it out of there. It took a while to do that. Cross-court pass. Artis only had 3 seconds to get the shot off.
Saw Kevin Stallings there, 17 years at Vanderbilt, the all-time winningest coach at Vandy.
And a good coach he is. We want to talk about him as we get through it.
White lines up a 3. That's number 83 on the year.
What a find he was for Jim Boeheim. Certainly has made a measurable difference in his team this year.
And Coach, they said he's been a model citizen at Syracuse. He said he wanted to prove that not all double transfers deserve that stereotype of being a bad kid. Johnson lines up a 3. Air ball. 9 on the shot clock. Did not touch iron. So Artis will have to light it up. And the long rebound comes out to Gillen. Well, you mentioned that 43-point game Gillen had against NC State. Those 9 threes. The one he hit to send it to overtime was unbelievable. That's a 2 by White. Looks like he's feeling it early, Coach.
Well, he's an excellent jump shooter. You know, you'd like to see him expand his game a little bit, take the ball to the basket some, but who's arguing? He's such a great shooter, one of the best in the ACC.
7-0 run right now for the Syracuse Orange.
We haven't heard from Michael Young yet, Mike. He's working in the high post, which is where they really need him.
Johnson had that big game against North Carolina where he had 24, hit 6 threes. Nails that one. That's number 55 for him this year.
And in talking to the Syracuse coaches, he's the one that they were really worried about. You know about Young, you know about Artis, you know about Jeter. Johnson's kind of the question mark.
Lighton likes to step outside from time to time and light it up. Leaves that one short. Panthers finally get it up court. Open look. Second there, thought maybe too open, but Sheldon Jeter knocks it down.
Really a great assist and good unselfish play. Good presence of mind by Artis on the floor to be able to find the open man and get it out of there.
So the Panthers answer with a 5-0 run right now after Syracuse went on that 7-0 run. Little step back. And again, he's got 7. Hasn't missed a shot yet.
Well, that answers the question. Can he put it on the floor? He did. 3-4 dribbles into the lane. Hit, powered off, and made the shot.
Pittsburgh starting the game 0 for 4. They've hit their last 2. They get it in the paints. And the second effort to no avail. 9-6 Syracuse with a chance to build on the lead in the lane. And they do. Nice move by the 6'10 freshman, Torian Thompson. He's got 4.
Thompson scores, but you know I think that's a product of having a guy like John Gillen in the lineup. He gets the ball up and down the court much faster and gives easy opportunities to his teammates.
(11-6) inside 14 minutes. Little backdoor cut and the flush. Michael Young.
I know yesterday that they were really working in getting that ball into the high post, and if it gets into the high post, oh man. If it gets into the high post, they look low, but now you've got to find John Gillen on the return because he's going to take the ball right back at you. He puts the ball on the defense quickly.
You know, we talk about the transformation of this Syracuse team when he got inserted in the starting lineup. He said, when the coach leaves me in, even after I make a mistake, that really builds my confidence. But on the baseline again and again, it's Young with the flush.
It's interesting. I saw Michael Young on the high post a moment ago, and he looked a bit frustrated. He couldn't get him the ball. He moves to the back underneath the low post that time, receives the pass, and flushed it. Much more comfortable there.
But he and Artis have combined for 20 or 20-plus games this year for the Pitt Panthers. This is a 2 if it goes, and it does. Both teams are shooting the ball very well right now as Tyus Battle gets his first bucket. You know, Coach, he had that buzzer beater against Clemson. The game before that, he knocked down 23 against Virginia. So he's had a couple of memorable games for a rookie. There's Young again. Oh, he's strong, taking it to the rack. He's fouled.
Yeah, you must take the ball into Michael Young.
Andrew White led the ACC with 82 threes. Coming in, he knocked this one down. That's number 83. Michael Young, a couple of flushes inside. He's got 4, and he's going to the line when we come back on the other side.
I don't want to put... There's a threat to us all. Men in masks, raising up ancient machines. And I've seen their leader.
From the depths, I will raise an army. A storm of shadows to take back what's ours.
What is it?
The end. Or how it begins, anyway.
PlayStation.
Four distinct driving modes. Dynamic handling. Quicker shifts. Make every car a performance car. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX, and this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
The graduate student out of Richmond, Virginia, knocks down the 3. He hasn't missed a shot yet.
If there's a more confident shooter in the Atlantic Coast Conference, I don't know who it would be. I mean, he can shoot the ball off the dribble, as we see right there. He can shoot it off the catch. He is shot ready. His feet are ready. His hands are ready. Very, very confident and a great asset for the Orangemen.
See that 5 consecutive 20-plus games over that 5-game stretch, averaging 25 points a game. Michael Young going to the line. 77% shooter. It's interesting, Michael Young averaging 20.8 overall. And you look at conference play, Andrew White averaging 20.8. Young with 5 in the ball game right now, 15-11, separated by 4. Syracuse over the years with a comfortable lead in the series. You see the numbers in the first game, 17.7 rebounds in 33 minutes.
Yeah, with Taurean Thompson out of the game right now, they're a little bit smaller. Syracuse is. They've got Frank Howard coming in for him. He's and also the Robeson kid is. So they've still got some size there, but not quite as big.
Well, Thompson picked up a second foul. Michael Young scored the last 6 points now for the Panthers, down by 3. Coach, I was going to say that Syracuse, a comfortable lead in the overall series, but they've dropped 4 of the last 5 against these Panthers. Only won twice on this floor. 6 on the shot clock now. They're going to have to take it from 17. And the Jeter's there to clear. I know you thought Kevin Stallings was a good choice for this Pittsburgh job.
I really did. He's a veteran coach. I know he came in at a difficult time. You've got really 4 outstanding seniors that are playing right now. He did not have a chance to recruit. I know he's brought in 6 new recruits for next year. I don't know their names, but they are very, very high on each and every one of them. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get some others as we move along.
Knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with Pittsburgh. And we're going to take a timeout. 11:35 to go. Jim Boeheim looking for his 6th straight. He's up by 3.
So, Mr.
Katie's back in OKC to take on.
Spurs, Knicks, today on ABC.
Anthony Davis is one of the top blockers in the NBA, so he was a perfect fit for the IT department.
Anthony, it's just my blog.
Is your blog business related?
No.
There you go.
Can't stop me from using my phone.
Nothing gets past that guy.
I can still play solitaire.
No, you can't.
I want these guys to understand the value of being truthful, and I want them to understand how it impacts the team concept, but I also want them to understand how it impacts their personal lives, the effect that it can have on being a spouse or being a parent.
There's 2 things that come to mind. Number one, anytime you go in to recruit, you say you're going to recruit the kid, and you're going to teach him not 4 years, but what value 40 years. And that's what I think Kevin was talking about right there. You want to affect them in a positive way for a long time.
Nix pulls down the rebound. Boy, there's an old Big East body right there, huh? Roselle Nix, 6'11", 300-pound, redshirt junior, out of Cincinnati. Getting back to Coach Stallings, and you said he was a good choice for this job. I thought it was interesting. Sheldon Jeter was the first. As Artist knocks down the bucket, he was the first to step up and be the voice in the locker room for Stallings, and he actually transferred from Vanderbilt. So I thought that was an interesting thing that happened here in Pittsburgh here earlier in the season.
Well, he certainly made the choice twice, really, and you got to respect a man that would make that.
Steal by Syracuse. They come in averaging 8. They lead the ACC, but right now a Pittsburgh bucket, and the Panthers will have the lead.
Yeah, Young got the rebound twice there. Made the turnover, but got it back. Just kept playing.
Earlier this year, Kevin Stallings asked about life in the ACC. It said it's an exciting challenge, intimidating at best, scary at worst. Different type of brand of basketball from the old Big East. There's no doubt about that. 6 on the shot clock now. Panthers will have to hurry it up. Nice skip pass across, and a little bit too strong. They just got it off in the nick of time.
You go on that baseline against the Syracuse zone, you're looking at a double team.
There's a whistle and the foul. Gillen won't get the chance for the 3-point play, but he'll get 2. Time to look at the nation's top 25, brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. 5 ACC teams, 2 in the top 10 with Louisville in North Carolina. What do they say, Coach? Maybe as many as 10 ACC teams make the big dance this year?
Well, I think that's tops. I think 8 or 9 is more like it. As you continue to go through the year, you're going to beat each other up, and it's just hard to, have your record as spotless as you want it to be. at the very end. You still got a lot of teams who might be outside the bubble right now that can play their way in.
So the graphic there, Gillen named the ACC Player of the Week after that memorable week he had for that 43 points. Again, that shot to send it to overtime is unbelievable. Johnson starting to warm up from outside. Now that's number 56 for him.
Well, he can shoot the ball, but one of the things that helps him is that he is tall. He can look over that the Syracuse zone and see it very clearly.
First tie in the ball game now, deadlocked at 17 to Gillen. Well, we just looked at the top 25. The NCAA just came out with the current top 16 seeds. This is something new this year, Coach.
Well, it is, and I think it's a good thing. I hope they don't try to do it every week like the football committee does. But I think right now, giving you a sense for who they're thinking and where they're thinking and that type of thing, this is a little more detailed than I even thought it would be. You know, the East, the West, and the Midwest, and the South. I mean, it gives you a real feel for where they would send them if the season were over at this point.
Howard on the floor now for Jim Boeheim. Howard has 4 double-figure assist games, but basically gave way to that starting role to Gillen, as we talked about. There's the foul down on the baseline against the Panthers.
Now, when you get the ball on the baseline like that, you're likely to foul down there. You've got, you know, one of the interesting matchups right now is John Gillen's being guarded by Cathcart, who is a freshman. Certainly not accustomed to guarding at that level.
A little step back by White. That's his first miss, and it's ripped down by Jeter. That last foul incidentally went against Johnson. His first, there's a reach, and it goes against Andrew White.
I don't know if Artis' ankle is getting more loose as we go along, or it's just not hurting him that bad. But right now, I see no inhibition at all. I think he's full go, offense, defense, and he's certainly not going to come out of the game unless he is hurt.
Well, they can ill afford to take him out of the game because that bench is so shallow right now, Coach. Jeter. So he hits another bucket after that 17-8 game. So Jeter with 4 points.
Jeter is one of those players you just don't notice a lot until he does something like that. I mean, you don't expect him to score 20, 25 points a game.
Panthers with their first lead since 1-0. Howard lines up a shot, a little bit too strong. Lydon with another rebound. And he gives it up. Well, what a battle inside, huh?
Yeah, it took a while to get it, but they finally got it. Johnson got up in amongst all those trees. Not the strongest guy, but certainly did a really good job.
Kevin Stallings saying the 3-game road trip, even though they're 1-2, he thought the team competed. Starting to get some confidence, and they've made some progress. But the big question is, can they defend well enough to get another W?
That was a nice series there by Pitt. They didn't make a basket, but they got it to an open shooter. Jeter didn't make it, but you got to like what they did to get it.
Coming off the screen. This shot by White.
And how about the block out by Jeter?
This is Cathcart with the basketball, the freshman out of Durham. Boy, he went through a serious slump, but came up with 9 points in that victory against Boston College.
This is by far the best ball movement that I've seen Pittsburgh have in a long, long time.
Inside 8 minutes, 19-17, Pittsburgh at home with the lead.
Okay, people, I'm sure we are switching things up for the 6 p.m. Eastern Sports Center. It's a new day, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
But this new joint, it's about all of us.
Preach. So welcome to the 6.
Right.
Scott? Mm-hmm. Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
Having fun playing the ACC 3-point challenge presented by Mellow Mushroom, that free app, and you got some support there from the zoo today and did pretty well.
Hey, it's easy when you got home court support. nobody better than the Oakland Zoo. I mean, they were right behind me, cheering me on every single minute. How about these? I'll challenge the other analysts that come on after me to try to beat me. I don't think they can.
ACC 3-Point Challenge presented by Mellow Mushroom, a free download on your app, and Mellow Mushroom giving away a free small cheese pizza for every app download or the update if you already have the app. Rob Reichley, our executive producer, saying that Dan Bonner has been the star, but you gave him a run for the money.
Well, he's had a lot more practice than I have.
See that last graphic there, Syracuse missing their last 7 after opening up 7 of 9. I mean, Pittsburgh starting to play some deep, Coach?
Yes, they are, and there's a good example.
Syracuse will get another steal, and they're going to call the foul on Kithcart.
Well, you know, the zone, the Syracuse zone kind of lulls you to sleep, and it did that to Kithcart that time. You know, you got to be able to fake a pass, make a pass. The length of the Syracuse zone fools you sometimes, particularly on the perimeter at in the front. They're very, very active, and they've got the kind of a carte blanche to go out and intercept passes like that.
So that 8.4 leading the ACC, and Tyus Battle grimacing now a little bit in pain. I think he injured himself a little bit as he knocks down his 3rd point of the ball game. The freshman out of Edison, New Jersey, the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year last year. A career high against Virginia. So you're doing something right when you score that many points against that Virginia defense. So Battle goes 1 for 2. He had a 5-game stretch averaging almost 16 points a game, and it started with the Pittsburgh game, January 7th, when he had 15. There's a missed opportunity.
Well, it's hard to throw a bounce pass through the zone that far away. That was a 20-25-foot bounce pass through the zone. Almost impossible for Jeter to catch that.
6 turnovers now by the Panthers here in the first half, and Gillen, that's a rare. Jumped off the bench.
It's also impossible for Lighton to catch that. I mean, there was no connection between the two, and there was a quick sub there. And of course, we're going to get a Sunday school sermon from Jim Boeheim on that one.
And I just got through telling the story that Gillen loves when they, if he makes a mistake, he stays in the game. Not the case there. He gets yanked to the bench. So Howard will run the points, a baseline jumper, and nothing but net for Artis. He's got fouled.
Now they've had plenty of practice, but I gotta really marvel at Artis and Young, the way they play off of each other. One will throw the ball, the other one shoots, one assists, and the other one scores, rebounds, they defend. They've been really, really great combination for Pitt over the years.
Syracuse has gone over 6 minutes now without a bucket.
Look who's inside posting up. Tyler Lydon. They usually find him on the perimeter.
The freshman has 2 to shoot it, and it's deflected. Johnson in transition. Yes, ring it up. Johnson with 3 threes. He's got 9.
I think the thing that really has gotten them going now has been their defense and their ability to find the open man, and Chris Johnson stepping up and making the 3 off a nice pass by Artis. I'm really impressed with how Mel Artis is playing, both on both ends of the court, rebounding, assists.
Babylon's giving you a chance to attend this year's New York Life ACC tournament. Airfare, accommodations, and tickets to every game for you and the guests. All courtesy of Haviland. Enter today at theacc.com/Haviland. Coach, that's a great deal. A lot of fun. ACC tournament. I think the ACC tournament, maybe the Big Ten tournament in Chicago or Indianapolis, 2 of the best tournaments in the country.
Well, it really will be. And you know, how can you go wrong? You're going up into the New York City area. Brooklyn's going to be the host. A lot of nice hotels, shopping, food you can't beat. But it's all made possible by great basketball.
Well, the last time Syracuse was in Brooklyn, they were 4-0 back in Thanksgiving time, and they got beat by South Carolina. 6 on the clock again. Nice look for Robeson inside. Robeson flushes down his first bucket.
Sheldon Jeter went to sleep on that when he turned his head. Anytime your defender turns his head, go to the basket, there's a good chance you're going to be open. That's what happened.
Ends a run of 8 straight missed field goals for Syracuse. Panthers had been on a 14-3 run since the 12:51 mark. Johnson again. This one a little bit too strong. You mentioned the 4 seniors gone next year, but Johnson's only a redshirt sophomore. I think he could become a star. Remember last year talking about Cameron Johnson. Didn't get the minutes he's getting this year, of course, but they said he's going to be a good one here for the Panthers. Knocked out of bounds and stays on this end.
Jeter turns his back there and he goes to the basket. Real nice pass, good unselfish play there. He dunks that ball. Cannot turn your head on your man.
Earlier this year, they said Roberson was playing more like his high school days when he ran the floor. He was a double-double machine. That flush was his first bucket. Syracuse trails by 4. Deep 3 by Jones. Yes.
Well, you can add Chris Jones to the mix in terms of being able to hit threes, and they've got great ball movement. They're complementing that with some high screens on the perimeter guys, which free up guys usually coming out of the corner.
There's a whistle and the frustration followed by Battle.
Now, Tyus Battle did not catch the basketball. You know, one of the rudiments of basketball is being able to pass and catch properly. You know, the good thing about him is he turned to Jim Boeheim and said, "My fault." Coach Boeheim, good pat on the back over there. Sit him down. He'll bring him back.
Well, maybe that's all you got to do is turn to the coach and say, "My fault." And you get a pat instead of a
in this case, that's true. I'm not sure it's always true.
Yeah, the last 3 by Jones does a lot for this team's confidence. He was only shooting 20% from outside. That was a deep 3, but we're coming back. Whistle away from the ball. Foul against Pittsburgh.
Yesterday, I saw Coach Stallings and his staff working with Knicks, Big East-looking Knicks in the low post trying to screen, but they didn't tell him to push like that. Told him just to hold your spot, let your body do your work for you.
Well, that big body just picked up his second foul with 3:53 to go. 13-3 run right now. And a 7-point lead for the home team. Jeter rips down another rebound, and the Panthers. I thought it was interesting, Coach, that all these players talked about the freedom that Kevin Stallings brought. They really liked the freedom. And now Stallings has gone to more of a deliberate game. He says it's going to be less possessions. So be it. Whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. Really great ball fake. He was able to get into the lane. He delayed. He went up and concentrated on making the shot.
Okay, people, I'm sure you've gotten the memo by now that we are switching things.
O.J. Made in America is the most decorated documentary of the year.
It was all so much bigger than we were.
Exceptional, a movie so compelling you want it never to end. A magnum opus of race, class, ambition, and rage. The best documentary of the year. And now it's an Academy Award nominee for Best Documentary Feature.
There's no more powerful a narrative in American society than that of race.
O.J. Made in America.
Spurs, Knicks, today on ABC.
Live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. Today's coverage of ACC basketball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. We're so proud to have you with us. We certainly hope you're enjoying the broadcasts. We appreciate everything you do. Mike Leeson along with Dave Odom as we take a look at Cam Johnson starting to light things up.
Well, he can really shoot the basketball, and when you add him to the mix, you've got Young, you've got Artis, and you've got Jeter. You add him to the mix, that's a very, very potent force.
Gillett knocked down the free throw and the three-point play. He's got 7 right now against Pittsburgh in the first game. 20 points, 11 assists. Jim Boeheim was saying in that Pittsburgh game, his floor game was probably as good as it could get.
Now, one of the things that we talked about early on was for a key for Syracuse was being able to take care of the boards, and they have not been able to do that. Right now it's Pitt with 22 rebounds, Syracuse with 8.
Wow. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Johnson's going to have to get this one up. Oh, they got it. And Young thought he was going to have the stick back flush, and it didn't go down.
Yeah, it's really 2 easy shots they missed.
Roy Gillen kicks it back outside, and this one rattles out. White got it. He had another 3.
It didn't happen there, but John Gillen looks like he's started his motor now. He's looking at the basket every time he goes up the court, which he was not doing the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game. But now he is. Let's see if he takes it ball right in after him.
Coming up on the Hardy's halftime report, we'll flash back to last year on a Raycom's 35th anniversary moment as these two teams met in the ACC tournament. All that plus the highlights and stats on the Hardy's halftime report. Coming up in the next 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
Interesting move by Jim Boeheim, with Tarian Thompson having the 2 fouls. He set him down for a good portion of the half, but he's brought him back to play the last 2 minutes. Plus, hopefully he doesn't foul, stay out of trouble.
Howard didn't use the window, and it doesn't go down. So now the Panthers, they've missed their last 5 shots. Johnson off the dribble. And there's yet another steal by Syracuse. Boy, Gillen, he's got a 6th gear, doesn't he? Howard takes it in, and he's going to the line with a chance for the 3-point play.
I know he's really trying hard right now, but Cam Johnson is a shooter, not necessarily a playmaker. When he takes that ball in like he did on that last play, people his teammates don't know exactly what he's going to do with the ball, and though it wasn't really his fault, it was hard to catch. So he's got to concentrate on just offsetting, staying on the perimeter, being shot ready, and wait for the ball to come to him. Let Artis, let Jones, and the others make the plays for him.
So Howard, the sophomore out of Maryland, knocks down the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And after their first loss to South Carolina in Brooklyn over Thanksgiving, Coach Boeheim said that the guards weren't getting in the lane enough. Gamecocks beat them 30-8 in the paint. 2 games later, Howard dished out 13 assists. That's his season high.
South Carolina's a good basketball team. They continue to play well. They lost, I think, their last game out to Alabama in that, I don't know, triple overtime, something like that. But they're a good basketball team. No shame to lose to them.
Coach Tarian Thompson, the 6'10 freshman, just picked up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, that's I know. I just noticed that, and Jim Boeheim's probably questioning himself.
Thompson shooting 61% over the last 5 games now. He's going to keep an eye on him for the rest of the ballgame as far as foul. 90 seconds to go. First game in the first half. Pittsburgh thought they stood around too much, didn't attack that zone. What's the best way to attack it, Coach?
Well, you want to go into the middle just as he did right there. If you could get the ball into the high post, if you can get it into the medium-low post, give your guys a chance to operate and score. That's the best way to attack the zone. And it's the one that I know that Jim Boeheim is aware of. That's the weakness, if you want to call it that, and he's always working to stabilize the middle of that zone.
9 points now for Young. Last foul went on White. That's number 2 on White now with a minute 13 to go. Howard trying to size up the situation. They're down to 13 on the shot clock. Gillen lines up a 3, rolls out.
And the Panthers continue to own the boards on the defensive end.
Boy, they're just dominating on glass now. They come in at +1. Syracuse at even.
See how they're rolling somebody into that high post area all the time.
Johnson, another 3. That's 4 threes for him.
Well, that's because he's doing what he knows how to do. Don't be a playmaker yet. Maybe next year, but this year you be a shooter.
Well, he's been a shooter so far today, I'll tell you that.
Well, it makes all the difference in the world when you're doing what you know how to do. Clock's running down.
Earlier this year, Johnson hit 8 straight. That's a school record. The record was held by Sean Miller at 7. Miller, of course, now the head coach at Arizona. 4 on the shot clock. Gillen, boy, explodes down, scores with the left hand.
I don't know how he got the ball up between all those trees. He had 3 and 4 arms up here ahead of him. Shortest guy on the court, got it up cleanly. He was asking for a foul, didn't get it.
He feels like he can get by that first guy every time. The Ram Power Play brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Last Wednesday, Clemson's John Blossom game powered his way into the baseline. The emphatic reverse dunk against Georgia Tech that sparked the Tigers to a 74-62 victory over the Yellow Jackets. The senior was one of 5 Tigers in double figures. He's now ranked in the top 10 in career scoring and rebounds at Clemson. That's our Ram Power Play. Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram.
And Mike, we got 5.2 seconds on the clock. They've got to go to length, try to get a shot if they possibly can.
Good ball game.
Syracuse, they've led for almost 9 minutes in the game. Pitt has led for 9 minutes and maybe a half in the game. So it's pretty much a dead even game in terms of ball possession. This one now, let's see, Pittsburgh's going to have 2 and 3 guys in the backcourt. Try to get off a shot here.
Artis tries to go the distance, and he's going to be fouled with the .6.
Yeah, can you believe that? That's one of the hardest things to do is defend full court. You're almost better off fouling in the backcourt if you've got one to give. Obviously, Syracuse did not. But when you got a senior like Jamel Artis who can take the ball and he can transport it that far and draw a foul, tremendous advantage.
See that 23 points in the first game that Artis had. Over the years, he's averaged about 18 points, 8 rebounds against Syracuse, so he's always played well against the Orange.
I just have a hard time. Pittsburgh does not look like a team that has only won a couple of games in the ACC. They just look so much better than that.
Well, that's going to do it. We played 20 minutes at 35-28. Coach Odom, your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
Well, you got to give Pitt a lot of credit. They have owned the boards on the defensive end, and they've been able to get the ball inside enough against the Syracuse zone. And when they got it inside and the zone collapsed, they were able to get it back to people like Cam Johnson. So it's been a Pittsburgh game. But, you know, Jim Boeheim, this is not his first dance here. He'll go in there and he'll make some changes, try to get that thing going second half.
35-28, Pittsburgh trying to make it 2 straight in the ACC.
Welcome to the Watch ESPN Halftime Show. I'm Kerry Chow. We'll get you out to the second half in a moment, but first, we're going to drop some college hoops knowledge on y'all, including how bracketology is going to Oxford and the tallest fraternity in college hoops history. But we begin with the diaper dandies, the youngins, the rooks. Let's get to know the latest batch of freshman stars off the court with some freshman orientation.
I can play the saxophone a little bit. Just a little bit. I've been playing since I was in about the 6th grade, middle school. I actually was in a class, and it was kind of mandatory. I took band, and that was my instrument that I played. I'm decent. I wouldn't say good.
Today's lesson is on point guards. UCLA's Lonzo Ball. Some people look, other people see. Lonzo Ball sees. He sees the floor, he sees everyone on the floor, and he can also make shots. He throws it like this, but you know what? Swish, it goes in. Lonzo Ball is like today's Jason Kidd. UCLA has got the real deal at the point guard position. Class dismissed. Get out of my sight!
I'm Prim Sripapat. Earlier this year, Gino Auriemma reached career win number 900, and he reached that mark faster than any other coach in NCAA history. Our very own Kevin Nagandi sat down with the UConn women's head coach to talk basketball, life, and more.
We're at your restaurant now, and you're big food guy. Italian food, right?
Well, first of all, every Italian knows this. You could put extra virgin olive oil on your shoe, and you eat it, and it tastes really good. The great thing about Italian food is it's so simple. And the less complicated it is, the simpler it is, the better it tastes. I'm not afraid to try things. I think I got a kind of a spirit of adventure from my mom. My mother has a constant message for me every time I talk to her. 1, how you feeling? 2, take care of yourself because you're not getting any younger. And 3, Stop being mad at the girls.
Are you mad at the girls, though?
How you feel? No, because she watches every game on television, and the minute I raise my voice, she gets pissed at me. And there's some truth to that. Obviously, I have a fear of failure. I think we all do.
How do you use that fear of failure to your benefit?
It's not the absence of fear. It's being afraid and getting the job done anyway. And I talk to my players a lot about that. What separates the great ones from everybody else is, in spite of being afraid of all those things, you're going to figure out a way for us to win. And you're going to play great. And I think that's the way I feel. I'm always afraid. I'm always afraid for our team.
Are you on Facebook or Twitter?
No. Well, I used to be on Twitter. They took me off.
Why?
I just, get a stream of consciousness and go. So now I'm not allowed to do that anymore, which is really good because I don't have to worry about it. But there are times, man, like I'm itching. So I'm on it because I want to read,
Yeah.
But I can't be trusted.
Pat Summitt, the winningest coach in the history of men's and women's Division I basketball, has died at the age of 64.
When Pat passed away, did that give you a sense of pause of just understanding your mortality and what's ahead and maybe what you want to still accomplish in life as well as a coach?
I do remember thinking, all those wins and all that adulation and all those championships and everything that goes with that doesn't really mean a whole lot right now. But I find myself thinking a lot about there's got to be more to life than just coaching women's basketball.
Do you think about, I want to do something else outside of this?
I always do. But I know I can't keep myself going in one direction for too long. In a real perfect world, I would like to wake up every week and be someplace else, doing something else, and having an impact there, and then moving on to the next thing.
But you've been doing this for 30 years.
I know.
Which I find funny.
It's about the money.
It can't be. How much longer do you think you have it?
You have it as long as it wants you. I know it's not going to last forever, and I know I don't want to be doing this when I'm 80.
Is there a fear of the unknown? Because we've seen that with great coaches who hang on a little bit longer than expected. Or we've seen coaches who don't know anything else to do.
Yeah, no, that's not
me. Is there a fear that you don't know what's on the other side?
No, I'm the best at doing nothing. I would be pretty good at just sitting on the beach and reading for a long time and playing golf every day. Believe me, I would find a million things to do that would have nothing to do with basketball or anything like that.
Auriemma has often been compared to legendary UCLA men's basketball head coach John Wooden, and twice he's broken Wooden's old mark, one of 88 consecutive wins and the other of 10 national titles.
You ready, Mercedes?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to run the lane. You own the middle now. That's all you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Fast, rapid fire. If you could take one item on a road trip every time you went, what would be the one item you have to have?
Headphones.
Okay, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Barbecue chicken.
What's the most embarrassing song on your phone?
Probably a country song, Rascal Flatts.
What's your favorite social media?
Instagram.
Good job. Fast breaking with Mercedes Russell.
Harry Giles, 7'3" wingspan, 9-foot reach. The dude's got skills. I mean, he can handle it, shoot it, can shake you, and has a middle game. Reminds me a little bit of Paul George. Both can shoot it, put it on the floor, versatile, can play more than one position. Class, all this will be on the final exam.
Duke hoping to cut down the nets at the end of the season. This year, the study of NCAA brackets has reached a new level of credibility, as Joe Lunardi's term bracketology has been added to the Oxford Dictionary. It's real now, yo!
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lunardi here with an update on my latest favorite book. It's the Dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary to be precise. This past September, the noun bracketology was officially added to that dictionary, joining more than 829,000 words, sentences, and compounds from across the English-speaking world. As Barry Manilow used to sing, it looks like we made it. Indeed, it's fair to say we've come a long way from scribbling out brackets on napkins or posting updates on websites far less credible than the likes of ESPN.com. Heck, making the dictionary is like becoming a scholar, a tenured professor, or in this case, a basketball savant. It wasn't easy reaching this new height. Hey, at my height, reaching anything isn't easy. But when the Oxford English Dictionary defines you, you have a new credibility. It should make every member of the tournament selection committee quiver. And if that doesn't work, I'll just send autographed copies of my book. I hear it's a real page-turner.
Props, Joe. Not to be confused with Prop Joe, a character from The Wire. Easy mistake. Now, we've seen some star-studded teams in college basketball that could put on a show, but the 1983 Houston Cougars were among the original high flyers. Led by Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, Houston ran through the competition until the NCAA title game. Here's a clip from the 30 for 30 film Phi Slamma Jamma on how they got their name.
That season, they were a must-see. I remember they were playing a Sunday afternoon game against the University of Pacific. I was alone trying to figure out what to write. I mean, what do I write about a 50-point blowout? I thought, well, let's see, they had 10 dunks. What would you call a dunking fraternity? Well, you got to start with Phi. Okay, Phi Gamma. Okay, Gamma. How about Slamma? And then Jamma goes with that because jams and slams are together. So it became Phi Slamma Jamma.
The great Thomas Bach has named this team, and what an appropriate name, Phi Slamma Jamma.
Next day, I got a phone call from Frank Schultz, who was an associate AD in sports, and he said, wow, that's unbelievable. Can we use that? I said, yeah, go ahead. Put it out there. Take it.
It happened overnight. The marketing department, the media, everyone read the column by Tommy Bunk, saw the name. Those guys just fell in love with the name Phi Slamma Jamma.
It wasn't any big marketing firm. It wasn't an advertising deal. It was almost like a movement that kind of grew.
Everybody grabbed a hold of this and said, this is what we are. Texas' tallest fraternity. We're Phi Slamma Jamma.
A seemingly innocent newspaper column turned into a college basketball monster called Phi Slamma Jamma.
She's got the break. Oh, another!
Phi Slamma Jamma made basketball cool.
They call them Phi Slamma Jamma.
And they made University of Houston cool.
Watch out. Showtime.
We became the city of Houston's team.
The fever around this town is just unbelievable at this university. It's just tremendous.
A collegiate team in a pro town.
I'll say Phi Slamma Jamma one more time.
Okay, we'll try to play it for you again.
Texas is a football state, traditionally. But in those Phi Slamma Jamma years, we flipped it and made it a basketball state.
Get everybody together. Time to move.
Turn it up. 'Cause you don't even know. I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Turn it up. Said I can make your hands clap.
That's going to do it for the Watch ESPN Halftime Show. Hope you feel enlightened. All right, let's get you out to the second half. Thanks for watching. I'm Kerry Chow.
Okay, people, I'm sure you've gotten the memo by now that we are switching things up for the 6 p.m. Eastern Sports Center. It is a new day, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm. And this team, all of you.
Okay, people, I'm sure you've gotten the memo by now that we are switching things up for the 6 p.m. Eastern Sports Center. It is a new day, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm. And this team, all of you, is the reason why.
This pleases me, yes. Now, granted, we're still the stars as people who spent years in the business as co-hosts of the wildly successful show His and Hers, but for this new venture, it's about all of us.
Preach. Yep. So welcome to the 6.
Right.
Spurs, Knicks, today on ABC.
The team on his back there with the flush. Luke Kennard comes back for the Blue Devils. And Kennard, the southpaw, on top of the key. Grayson Allen also knocks down a three here for the Blue Devils. A little step back three, and right now 29-18. Duke on top of Clemson. And I'm told that Wake Forest rolled over NC State by 30 points today, Coach.
Well, Wake Forest is a team I think that is trending upward. I really do. I'm sorry to say that North Carolina State not trending upward. They're having their own struggles right now, maybe a little chemistry problem.
Leiden goes right to the rack early on. Tyler Leiden, pretty quiet in that first half. Did not score. He comes in averaging 15 in conference play.
I really can't get enough of Jamel Artis, how he handles the ball. He looks so, I know he's a senior. I know he's got a lot of experience, but I mean, doing what he's doing out front, keeping the Panther team under control, moving the basketball.
Down to 4 on the clock. Jones lines up a three. It doesn't go. Good positioning, and it's rejected that time by Thompson. Thompson playing with 3 fouls, and Gillen likes to show off that 6th gear. This one's goes out of bounds. Last touch. And we're coming back this way.
And how about the dive by Sheldon Sheeter? First guy down on the floor usually gets it. Everybody knows that. He came from nowhere, out of left field, out of Forbes Field, the old baseball stadium here. He came out of there.
Talking about Artis, he actually lobbied to play the point. Of course, they lost James Robinson from last year, who #1 assist to turnover ratio in the NCAA history. Up and under. Another bucket for Young. He's in double figures with 11.
It just shows you how much Young went to school. He got his shot blocked by Thompson on the last possession. He pump faked him, got him up in the air, stepped through. Great play by Michael Young. Veteran player.
Syracuse just 1 for 8 from 3 in the first half. They're averaging 9 makes, second to only Notre Dame.
Pittsburgh's going to get their best shot from John Gillen. I can tell he's absolutely trying to get his game going. He's had a hard time doing that. And you hadn't heard much from Tyler Leiden.
Timeout on the floor with 18:31 to go, so we'll take a timeout as well. Panthers up 37-28 on Syracuse.
Okay, people, I'm sure you've gotten the memo by now that we are switching things up.
LeBron James is moving right now at a different speed than everyone else. He's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Look at the pass. Great pass. This guy's fun to watch. The ball's an extension of his mind. All right. Did you do that, Bill, when you were a kid? When I played, the dunk was illegal. I got goosebumps watching that. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Dickie V and Bill Walton call Pacers Cavs on ESPN.
Any guy can wear a hat, but only you can turn heads in one. You got something. Own it and smell great with new Axe U, a unique masculine fragrance.
An exclusive production of Rincon Sports, also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. 37-28. The Panthers trying to make it 2 straight. Kevin Stallings saying Pittsburgh wants to be the team they want to be, Coach. Defensive play and defensive pride has to go up a notch. They picked it up today. These two teams have had their share of battles back in the old Big East days.
Well, you're going to find that the Syracuse players are going to try to pick up their offensive efficiency, particularly Andrew White and John Gillen.
Wow. Oh, the whistle. Oh, there's a missed opportunity. Ball goes against Pittsburgh. Young was open. Jeter just picks up his second.
Well, that was a play coming out of the timeout. Kevin Stallings very good in timeouts, no question about that. He had it perfectly drawn up, but they didn't execute it right. They got him on the offensive foul.
You mentioned Stallings being a great pick for this Pittsburgh job. I remember I lived in Columbus. Andy Geiger twice thought seriously about giving Stallings the Ohio State job. This one goes against the Panthers.
Well, Ramey Stein's looking in the low post there, and he had, I guess it would be Jeter pushing in the back of Tyler Leiden.
That's 3 on Jeter now with 18:05 to go.
Looks like there's a renewed interest to get the ball inside. We got a jump shot coming here. Time.
Battle takes it to the rack to no avail, and the long rebound comes out to Jones.
I haven't seen a team block out better than Pittsburgh is blocked out today in a long, long while. You win a lot of basketball games if you block out and you rebound, and they're certainly doing that.
I know Syracuse, that zone, of course, the long rebounds is going to cut into your rebound numbers, but outside of Florida State, Syracuse is the second tallest team in the ACC, Pittsburgh the third. So I was surprised that Pittsburgh's only +1 and Syracuse even on the glass coming into this game. White, relatively quiet since that quick start. Last 2 or 3 of his shots have popped out of the basket just like that one.
Mike, Syracuse had made 4 turnovers in the first half. Coming out in the second half, 2 of their first 4 possessions, they made a turnover. They're going to have to correct that.
Johnson just picked up his second. Tyler Lydon still looking for that first bucket.
Well, they're playing him inside much more than I thought. Maybe they think they've got some sort of size advantage inside. They've got, right now they've got Jones guarding him, and then it switches off, but I just don't know exactly what they're doing there in terms of playing him inside that much.
Battle, the freshman has to go to the rack because they were down to 2 on the shot clock, and last touch by Syracuse, so Pittsburgh forces an empty possession for the Orange. Great defense by Pittsburgh that time.
It was. Jim Boeheim was asking for a foul. He's not going to get it on that. That ball clearly was hit off of the Orangeman's knee.
It was a great shot. You see Battle tried to create a little separation with that, I don't want to say elbow, but maybe a forearm. Little step back and just barely touches the rim. That's a rare.
I think both teams right now are getting the ball inside. You got to, if they get it inside, defense gets in, settles behind you. You need to be able to throw that ball back out.
Syracuse. Gillen. Finally, Lydon's in the score column. That's his first bucket.
Yeah, it's one time that Jeter did not block out. Lydon went to the glass. It's almost like turn you back on your player, he'll go to the glass. He did. He found an even basket there.
Boy, nice job of sharing the rock that time as Michael Young, the recipient.
Yeah, Jeter caught the ball in the middle, influenced the defense up, and bounced the ball. You bounce that because when you're playing against tall players, it's hard for them to get down and defend the bounce pass.
Gillen. This one won't go down. Lydon with the offensive rebound, and boy, he thought he's had a second bucket. There's the whistle of foul. It's going to put Thompson on the line.
Well, for the first time, you begin to see that the Syracuse team is getting to the offensive glass now. And Young, but operating below, catching the ball, stuffing it.
Katie's back in OKC to take on. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Dickie V and Bill Walton call Pacers Cavs on ESPN.
Not again. I didn't know you guys were watching last night. Thank you guys. It means a lot. Thank you. What are you talking about, stuff? I had that 27-10 last night, and today, chicken curry. 54 points last week, and the next day, curry stew.
Yeah, but stuff, I don't think
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. It means a lot. I lace them up every night for guys like you.
Who was that guy? I don't know. Seems like the chicken, though.
Yeah, here we see Tyler Lydon doing something he doesn't normally do, and he's passing that ball off the dribble. You've got Tyus Battle over on the side, and he sets up for the game winner.
And a buzzer beater, his first game winner as a Division I college basketball player, the Player of the Year in New Jersey. 3 points today, so he had 23. The game winner, and now 3 points against this Pittsburgh defense. Kevin Stallings says at times this year the players may have been saying to themselves on the offensive end, or saving themselves on the offensive end as opposed to what was needed on the defensive end, but they're playing some pretty good D.
Well, they really are, and I think that is a kind of an epidemic through college basketball today. I don't think there are that many shutdown defensively teams around. Maybe Villanova, a little bit Virginia, maybe Gonzaga on the West Coast. I think Kansas plays pretty good defense, but there are just not that many of them.
Is that the evolution of the game or the evolution of the kids playing the game?
I think that, plus the way they are interpreting the rules now, the rule committee and people, the gods of college basketball, want to see the scoring go up, and I think people look at that as being a better game, and I'm not sure it is, but certainly they like that.
Well, Kevin Stallings was saying this week that he rarely watched the Big East, and the Big East, of course, had a lot of success. He said nothing against the Big East. They had a lot of success, but their game was a lot slower than the ACC.
Well, the ACC traditionally has gotten up and down the court. And when you go back to the history and reputation of the old Big East, when both Pitt and Syracuse were in there, along with Georgetown and Villanova and St. John's and the others, it was a body on body, chest on chest, back on back kind of league where there was a lot of contact on each and every play. Mike, while we got just a second, it seems to me like Syracuse came out of the locker room trying with an emphasis of getting the ball inside, not shooting so many threes. And they're getting the ball to the rim, but they just are falling out. I don't know if we get a package on that or not, but there have been a lot of missed shots. Gillen gets in there, Tyler Lydon gets in there. They just have not been able to get it to go down. I don't expect that to continue.
Well, time will tell, I guess. 41-30 now, largest lead in the ballgame for Pittsburgh. Andrew White trying to get something going. Little spin. Another missed shot by Whites, and it's going to be last touch by Syracuse.
Well, Andrew White worked himself inside of three. That is in the 2-point range, but the further he got closer to the basket, the more he played into Jamel Artis's purview. He's a great defender inside. He didn't want to go outside that much.
Panthers trying to score in their transition game, and Young looking for Artis, threw it away. Howard's going to be fouled. Pittsburgh fans didn't like that call.
Well, they're hollering at Jamie Luckey, but really Ramey Steins underneath had the same call. So two of them had the same view. Well, they had different views, but one under and one outside. It was a good call.
Artis picks up his first, and Howard goes to the line. Well, the Syracuse team in conference play has a team shooting 79% from the charity stripe. Howard knocks down his 4th point. He's only 59%, however, from the line. And he nails both.
Last possession, Syracuse was pressing, and they're going to do it again. Syracuse, has the reputation of being a zone team, and they are. But they really can press when they need to.
Well, the Panthers thought they might get one in transition that time, and to no avail. Back to the half-court game. Jeter.
Again, a high-low look. It goes into Young. Jeter underneath, working really smartly underneath. Caught the ball without any kind of extra motion and made the shot.
Jeter had that big game in the win over Virginia. 16 points, 3 threes, but he's been living inside, as you said, against Syracuse today. Back to 11. Chance to build on the lead. Artis, that's a 3 if it goes. It doesn't. Githcart runs down the rebound.
Every loose ball, that's 2 in a row that have gone to the white-clad Panthers. They get every loose ball.
Young again alone, and Young capitalizes. He's got 15.
Yeah, Jim Boeheim's got to think about a timeout. I think he thought about it, decided to play alone.
So Michael Young making his 126th start. That passes James Robinson for the all-time lead. Nice move inside. Finally, Syracuse scores. It's Howard. Trying to get some of those minutes back on the floor. His minutes have shrunk ever since that BC game, as you talked about. Gillen with the steal and scores with the left hand. 45-36. Young. Well, that one almost went in. That would have brought the house down.
One of the misnomers that goes around college basketball is that Syracuse is only a zone team. I've seen them play some very good man-to-man when they need to. I've seen them press when they need to. And we've seen 4 possessions in a row, and they've intercepted the ball twice.
2017 New York Life ACC Tournament heading to the Big Apple. The ACC is giving you a chance to come to enter to win a travel voucher, hotel accommodations, and tickets at theacc.com/VIP.
Sounds inviting. Count me in, Mike.
Well, that's a good deal. I'd love to go to the ACC tournament. Leiden picked up the foul. Leiden with 1 bucket here tonight, or this afternoon, I should say.
It's going to be interesting with this lineup that Pittsburgh has in there. They've got the least experience that they could have. Cathcart's at the zone, and they've got Nix, the big guy in the middle. Not particularly a good ball handling decision-making team, and Syracuse is pressing.
Leiden, now he steps outside and rattles in a 3.
Now, that's part of the inexperience. They didn't trade that off properly.
There's a trap in the corner, forcing a timeout called with 12:21 to go here in the ball game.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to stay with that particular lineup if you're Kevin Stallings, because they just don't handle it as well. You got Nix in there who certainly can't move.
We're going to take a timeout now. 12:21 to go. 47-39. Panthers still on top at home.
Double knee.
Dickie V and Bill Walton call Pacers Cavs on ESPN.
Hi, thanks for coming. This year, Chevy received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other car brand.
I'm very, very impressed.
Did I mention they received more of them last year, too?
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
And the year before that. And the year before that.
So it keeps going.
In fact, Chevy has received more J.D. Power Awards for initial quality than any other car company 4 years in a row.
I'm speechless. Impressive. Chevy stepping up their game.
Well done defensively there.
Boy, Gillen can just blow by you, huh? Misses with the left hand, but he makes it look easy, just exploding past the defender.
Great rebound there by Sheldon Jeter. I certainly have no dog in this fight, but I feel better if I was a Pitt fan when Artis has the basketball in his hand. What great patience. He caught the ball at the Syracuse defender take himself out. And he took himself out. It was an easy basket.
Jeter with 8 now, 49-39 back to a double-digit lead. Howard this time explodes, goes high off the window, and we're coming back. It's going to be Pittsburgh basketball.
I think we got a foul on Roberson there.
So inside Jeter.
He was able to, he let the defense take themselves out, but he also used the rim to protect himself. Again, we got a full court press. Cathcart has problems. He doesn't have height.
Jeter with a basketball. Double-double, 12-11 in the first meeting with Syracuse.
Trouble.
And they get it over the timeline, and they've got some numbers for Artis, and he knocks it down.
That's really good basketball there. Artis went up and shot it. Now, Jamel Artis has not really been shot hungry today, but it shows you he can score when he wants to. He's averaging 20 points a game for the season.
As a matter of fact, the last ACC team to have multiple 20-point scores, you got to go back to Georgia Tech way back in 1990.
It's amazing. No more than Syracuse presses, their ability to get it set up that quickly against made field goals.
Coach, this Pittsburgh team averaging about 8 threes a game as well, but they've been satisfied scoring inside the line. 63% inside the line over the last 3 games. They throw it away. Here comes Gillen.
We were looking at a 3-point shot from Gillen there, but
Robus, a nice job getting some space.
Yeah, I think Mayheim will take a dunk. He'll be okay with that.
Another steal by the Orange. Goes right back to the Panthers. And now Artist with that sprained ankle explodes to the rim.
He almost got caught, and it was because of that sprained ankle. The game right now is fractured. Advantage Syracuse. If they keep it going like this, you don't have a natural ball handler. You don't have a quick ball handler. Now, that doesn't mean that Pitt can't hold on. I'm just saying they're going to have to get used to it.
Well, Syracuse leading the league in steals. Pittsburgh with 15 turnovers now. They only average about 11.8. Leiden, the double team. Oh, they're going to call the foul on Young. Tyler Robeson, the 6'8 senior, gets inside. Nice job of getting some space there. Then Artist comes right back.
Artist, he struggles a little bit on this, but he was able to get down. Looked over his left shoulder. He saw Leiden coming. Was able to close him off and make the shot. I don't know what. We've got some sort of problem over there opposite us. I think they were checking on making sure who the foul was on.
Michael Young, that's only his first with 9:20 to go.
He volunteered the foul. He wanted. That's a good teammate. I'll take the foul. Don't take it.
Especially if you don't have any fouls. You got 5 to give, right? Leiden. Wow.
This game moves along. You're going to see more of Tyler Leiden on the perimeter. I've been a little bit surprised about how much he's been inside. He's been hiding inside. Haven't been able to find him.
Surprised he missed that first free throw. He's 92% in conference play. That's number 1 in the ACC. He goes 1 for 2. 53-44 now. Syracuse not happy for the most part with their defense. Pittsburgh not happy with their defense for the most part until today. Both teams well under their averages right now. Rattle and a 3. Johnson, that's number 5 for him. He's got 15.
I was just wondering when we were going to see Cam Johnson again. We hadn't seen him all half. He hadn't shown us what he could do. We got a 3-point
reach on Justice Kithcart.
Yeah, Cam Johnson knows how to space properly. He was able to get below the defense in that corner. They weren't able to get to him before he got the shot off.
Kithcart, the freshman, picks up his 3rd foul. Puts Gillen on the line.
You know, if you're Pitt, if you're Kevin Stallings, you know that a barrage of 3-point shots are getting ready to come at you like raindrops. You got John Gillen, and we haven't heard from Andrew White lately. He's going to take some shots, maybe 1 or 2 of these others, Leiden probably. You've got 3 very dependable 3-point shooters on the Syracuse team. Tyler Leiden, Andrew White, John Gillen. The one thing you don't want to do if you're Pitt is foul them. Clock stops, they go to the line, they catch you that way.
So Gillen hits both, and Coach, I didn't want to say this before the free throws, but he has now hit 34 consecutive free throws.
Ooh.
Would have jinxed him otherwise, but 34 straight. He's number 2 in the league, right behind Leiden.
You believe in that? I do.
That's why I didn't say anything. If I would have said something, I would have said it very quietly. So he didn't know I jinxed him. 10 points separating these two teams. 56-46. Down to 3 on the shot clock. It'll stop. Jump shot doesn't go. The rebound taken down by, almost by Gillen.
Oh boy. Story of the day so far for Syracuse. Their inability to take advantage of opportunities that are there. Passing and catching the ball. Fumbling the ball out of bounds. Not getting the loose balls on the floor. All of those really have a big factor on how the game is. Now, of note, Artist out of the game now. They're giving him a rest. We got about 8 minutes to go in the game. He'll come back maybe at the under 8 timeout. We still got some experience in there in Jeter, Johnson, and Young.
Kithcart misfires. Rebound ripped down by Roberson. Here comes Syracuse now. Leiden, 15-footer. Oh, wow.
Yeah, another fumble out of bounds. A good shot, didn't make it. Ball was unable to get it. Ball goes out of its bounds, off their hands.
We'll be back after a word from your local ACC station.
back in OKC to take on Russell Westbrook. This is gonna...
Applebee's all-in burger meal deal for just $9.99. We're talking burger.
Fries.
Pepsi.
Prizes.
Like producer for a day with ESPN's Mike and Mike.
Woo!
Get a burger, fries, and a Pepsi for just $9.99 at lunch, plus a shot at instant prizes.
Oh, hi, Tom. You're really stuck in that rut.
Really? I thought I was in a groove.
It's clearly a rut. Huh. I was once in a rut, too, but then I tried Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
I didn't know Chick-fil-A has breakfast. It is a rut.
Get out of your breakfast rut with one of Chick-fil-A's toasted English muffin sandwiches.
Grayson Allen on the drive. Streaming games, highlights, and more. The ACC mobile app. And out of here. Brought to you by Outback.
Back inside the Peterson Event Center, 10 points separating Pittsburgh and Syracuse, 56-46. On the line for Syracuse, a 6-game winning streak.
Jamel Artis back after the rest, after the brief rest. Smart play by Kevin Stallings.
Johnson 5 of 7. Rest of the team 1 for 8. We go back and as part of your Carolina Ford keys to the game there, the 3-point shooting. It's a good thing Johnson had the hot hand. Syracuse just 2 for 10 from long range. Jeter. Sheldon Jeter now in double figures.
Well, that'll make Jim Boeheim make some decisions about whether he wants to continue to press or not. Maybe you go to a man-to-man press instead of the zone press. They can't get it open quite as easy. And again, you got Leiden in the low post. Oh boy.
That's his second 3. It puts him double figures, Coach, and that's his first bucket in the second half.
That won't be the last one he takes, I can tell you that. Now, I don't know if he'll make it or not. He'll take it.
Pittsburgh, boy, the tempo's really picked up with Pittsburgh as they try to break that press.
Again, it calms down when Jamel Artis gets the ball. Things calm. Now they're going to try to get it into the high post.
Kevin Stallings saw something his players didn't see. Another steal for Syracuse. Gillen, nice job of protecting that drive. He's got 13. Panthers come right back, and White chases down the rebound.
Go in like that, you've got to finish it, otherwise they're going to open up a break on the other end.
Down 7 now. There's a whistle. They're going to call it against Pittsburgh down low. We're checking it goes against Syracuse Leiden, I believe. 2017 New York Life ACC Tournament heading to Brooklyn. The first round action starts at noon on Tuesday, March 7th. And the ACC Network will cover all 14 games, including the championship in prime time on Saturday night.
Ooh. Well, we'll see if they call an intentional. It looked like he grabbed him. I do not think they are. I don't know. They're going to talk about it. I think they're going to go look at it. Maybe not. They called it a hack and not a grab. Kevin Stallings decided not to protest that. Uses energy elsewhere.
You know, getting back to that ACC tournament, 6 different champions in the last 6 years. You know, you're outside the ACC right away. You think of Duke, Carolina. It's 6 champions in 6 years. That adds a little to the excitement. Jeter kicks it back out to Johnson. Johnson back to Jeter. A little inside-outside game, and Jeter misfires, and Syracuse now with a chance to cut this to 5. Buckets are not easy to come by. They're going for the touchdown. The home run ball. Jones scores.
Oh boy, what a big basket that was. It was a miss on the Syracuse end. One they could have made. Weren't able to do it. Better guard the 3.
Gillen, skip pass to the corner. Roberson rips down the rebound, and he's going to be fouled.
Syracuse really is throwing all caution to the wind. They're going 4 guys at the basket.
Boy, this last sequence, boy, this got exciting. You could just feel the electricity in the crowd.
really up. Yeah, long, getting back. Nice pass, nice catch, nice finish. John Gillen should have been back and covered that. Not good transition defense.
Roberson, 7 now.
Wow.
Here's an alert, a red flag. Jeter just picked up his 4th foul with 5:10 to go, and as you talked about, the bench isn't that deep.
For neither one. And we're also at the point now where fatigue might be a factor both on the defense, which is Syracuse, or the offense, which is Pittsburgh. We've got to quit getting that ball into that corner.
Jeter backs it out. Try to eat some clock here with that 7-point lead.
Well, you want to eat clock, but at the same time, you want to remain aggressive.
We talk about that shallow bench. Bench points right now, Syracuse 15-0. So Kevin Stallings getting no points from his bench here this afternoon, but holding on to the 7-point lead. Artis.
Oh, boy.
Add 3 to that, so it's back up to 10, and he's got 14.
And he hasn't scored that much all day long, but what a crucial basket that was.
You know, it's good for him, too, as he goes deeper into the season, Coach. He was 3 of 18 from long range over his last 3 games. Wow, nice touch.
You know, it's amazing what happens when you unlock yourself, and that's what's happened. Syracuse right now feeling a sense of desperation, and they're able to shoot shots without worrying too much about pressure.
Got some numbers again. Young takes it in himself.
Yeah, they continue to attack, and as long as they attack and they convert, they're going to be okay. They cannot trade 3 for 2, though.
Howard lines up a jumper, leaves it short, and it's knocked out of bounds by Pittsburgh. It stays with Syracuse and a brand new shot clock. Jamel Artis, the 6'7" senior, averaging 20 points a game, steps outside, knocks down a huge 3 to push the lead to 65-56.
KD's back in OKC to take on Russell Westbrook. This is gonna be crazy. Turn down for KD versus Russ. Turn down for Ben Jackson.
Total awareness. It doesn't require a 6th sense. Just 2 extra sensors.
Out of here. Which way? I don't know. What am I looking for? Something I can't see. I can feel it. It's magic. Sauvage. Dior.
Your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Hardee's, by PNC Bank, and by Haviland, official motor oil of the ACC.
Take a look at some of the steel mills in Pittsburgh as we look at our game summary right now. 19 points for Young, 15, and look at the rebounds. 38-21, plus 17 of the glass.
Well, you know, you look at Young, you look at Artis, you look at Jeter. Those guys are all capable of having big night rebounding. We said that at the beginning. It's going to be a key, and it certainly has been. Jeter
had the double-double in the first meeting with Syracuse, 12-11. He's got another one here this afternoon. 10 points and 10 rebounds with 3:43 to go. White sizes it up, and it's going to be a foul on Johnson. It's going to put White on the line shooting 3.
Well, if there's one thing you don't want, it's to foul a 3-point shooter. Stop the clock, give a guy like Andrew White a chance to go. Now, I mean, Cam Johnson, I mean, he was convincing to me that he didn't touch him, put it that way. He's going to give up 3 points here, but this guy don't miss.
White with 7 in the first half, 7 in the second half now, 14, 81% shooter. He had 21 against Pittsburgh in the first meeting. Knocks him first 2 down. Of course, he's get 3, fouled on the 3-point shot. They call him Uncle Drew. Transferring from Kansas to Nebraska, back to Syracuse. 16. He knocks down all 3, and it's a 6-point game. But Pittsburgh, they've done a good job of getting the ball down court against the trapping defense.
Well, they're able to throw cross-court diagonal passes, which is very hard for a defense that Syracuse is running to do it. And what it does is it isolates Michael Young on Tyler Lydon. Tyler Lydon is no match for him when they're moving.
Young misses the first. So Pittsburgh now, Jeter has 4, Johnson has 4, Kithcart with 3, and Nix with 3. Young with another 20-point game. That's his 14th.
Yeah, he's magic on that.
Jerome Robinson has 15 to lead the ACC, and Lydon.
You could see that coming a mile away. At least I could, but obviously Pitt didn't.
I don't think so. And Jeter comes back with a flush.
One layup on the other, one dunk on the other. Pitt's got to get their defense set. Syracuse is going to take the threes, and well, they should.
But Coach Boeheim just jumped off the bench and started yelling, "You got to get back on defense." And White leaves it short. Johnson almost throws it away. Artis weaves his way through and finds Johnson for the open 3, and he rattles it in.
It worked out. I don't know that it was that smart. I mean, you want to burn some clock. He went ahead and took the 3.
And he gets the rebound.
It's probably going to be it.
Well, Pittsburgh doesn't want to slow down. They just keep launching shots.
My goodness. Look at this. I mean, it's, you know, what you see now is a product of a team that's not used to winning this year. And a team that doesn't have a point guard. What a great back screen that was. Tyler Lydon going, they found him, but they came right back and laid the ball up. Amazing. You go down and you get to 3. Artis goes in, throws the ball back out. Cam Johnson knocks it in. And Oakland Zoo is on fire.
Howard takes it in. He's going to the line to shoot a couple. Trailing 71-61, 2:21 to go now.
Yeah, let's settle down just a minute, Mike, you and I. I mean, the action is end to end. We can't keep up. But, you know, what you see now is Pittsburgh's doing, you know, they're getting by with it so far. They got a 10-point lead. But you need a point guard now to say, give me the ball, settle down, and we'll play this from the free throw line.
Well, Artis lobbied to play the point. We'll see if he can do that. As Howard knocks down his 8th point.
Well, we've already seen what he's going to do. He's going to shoot the ball, and he's going to keep the tempo going. I don't think he can stop it now.
Boy, Artis with a double-double, 14 points, 10 assists, and Howard.
I mean, this game, I mean, there's still plenty of time for this game to change dramatically. 2:21 on the clock, 8-point lead by Pittsburgh. They got to get the ball in bounds again. Syracuse still pressing. They keep throwing it into the corners, which is really hard.
All right, Jeters. They get across the timeline.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, Michael Young.
Come on now.
Oh. Kevin Stallings jumps off the bench, waves his arms like, what are you doing? These are seniors too, Coach.
Well, they are, but they're not seniors that are used to making those kind of decisions.
Boy, Thompson wasn't sure what to do with that ball. So he steps back and shoots an air ball. Oh, on the spot at the right time, right place.
I'd be surprised if Kevin Stallings doesn't call a timeout if they get the ball up. He's got to stop that. No, look at this. No timeout.
.90 seconds to go.
Look at this.
Oh, the foul's going to go against Howard. He thought he had all ball. It's our performance of the game brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Let's lean on Cameron Johnson with all those threes.
Well, you know, early on, I was talking to the Syracuse coaches before the game. You know, they know about Young, and they know about Jeter, and they know about Artis. The one that they were worried about was Cam Johnson, and rightfully so. I mean, he's had a great day, maybe one of his very best. He's made the 3. He's been a factor defensively. He's shooting. They've got the game in his hands right now. He's made his 2 free throws, got it up to 8 points.
And he has his second 20-point game. 9 times now he's hit at least 3 threes in a ball game. 73-65, minute 22 to go.
They got to guard the 3 without fouling.
Leiden gives it up. Howard, that's a 3 if it goes. No, it's a 3. I thought he stepped over the line, but they give him a 3. He had 3 at halftime. He's got 12 in the game now with 68 seconds to go. It's a 5-point game, 2-possession game.
Well, it is. Still plenty of time for Syracuse to come back. Now, they're going to need some help. They're going to either need some turnovers on the part of Pittsburgh or some missed free throws on the part of Pittsburgh. It's going to be interesting to see if the tempo slows from Pittsburgh's standpoint. They've still got to get the ball in bounds. They got to get the ball up the court, and they've got to settle down, and they've got to make Syracuse come out. I'll be surprised if Syracuse stays in their zone at this point. Only got 1 minute and 8 seconds to go. They're going to have to come out and force tempo, and it's almost like influencing Pittsburgh to play faster, which they've shown the tendency they want to do. I don't know how smart it is, but that's what they want to do. And again, you got no point guard out there to say, give me the ball, relax, let me play it out.
Next ACC Network telecast coming up Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Some of you will see North Carolina at NC State in Raleigh. Others will have Georgia Tech heading down to Coral Gables to take on the Hurricanes of Miami. Wednesday at 8 on the ACC Network. There's a trap in the corner. Uh-oh, Johnson. Nice job of saving the ball, and there's the foul. They're going to call against Syracuse.
And again, Cam Johnson comes out of nowhere to do something good for Pittsburgh. I mean, that was an incredible play by him. I thought that was a turnover. He was able to save it, got it back into one of his guys. What a great hustle play.
A 2-possession game. I don't want to get ahead of myself, say that was the game changer.
Yeah,
I say that won it, but obviously that was a big save, especially if Young can knock these down. Leiden picked up his 4th.
Well, Michael Young is almost a 70% free thrower, which is good, but it's not guaranteed. But he is a senior.
Mentioned before, he and Artis combining for 24, 20, or 20-plus games. That gives him 21. Gives his team a 74-68 lead right now.
And the next possession by Syracuse is going to be key. If they can close it down, they still got a chance. If they don't, it'll be tough for them.
Down 6. White. He's got 20.
That was smart there because he wanted to try to get the ball in there, he wanted to make the basket and draw the foul. It didn't happen.
Roberson picks up the foul. 50.1 on the clock. It puts Jeter on the line.
Now, Jeter is a very good free thrower. Almost 80 for the season.
So the young man from Beaver Falls with his 4th double-double tonight. And he misses. Here we go. 48 seconds. Down 4.
Gillen's looking for a 3.
Light lost the handle.
Another one of those. I can't catch the ball. I cannot catch it. Wow.
Well, Syracuse coach, the next foul is going to put Pittsburgh in the double bonus with 40 seconds to go, but they got to start hitting their free throws. "35 seconds.
Yeah, I think he got it now.
All right, Johnson goes to the line, an 81% shooter. Double bonus, 29 seconds to go up 4. So Johnson, we mentioned 24 against North Carolina, 20 today.
I don't keep harping on that one thing, Mike, but being able to pass and catch the ball in a game, in every basketball game is important. But in a game like this, if you can't pass and catch it effectively, you're going to have a hard time winning. And of course, that last play, ball goes off of Tyler Leiden's hands and feet. Wasn't able to get it.
Yeah, he tried to turn. He could sense a dunk coming on.
If you're a Pitt fan, how sweet is this? I mean, my goodness, they got, winning their 2nd straight game. And against a team that you know, kind of a bitter enemy, a rival, an old Big East. And really, when you look at it statistically, Pitt has owned this series 66-44 going into tonight.
Well, coming up next Wednesday, 8 Eastern, some of you will see Joel Berry and the 8th-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina head over to Raleigh to take on Dennis Smith Jr. in NC State. Others will have Josh Okogie in Georgia Tech against Davon Reed and the Hurricanes of Miami down in Coral Gables. For the entire ACC Network game schedule, visit theacc.com/ACC Network. There's the standings as we stand right now. So look at from 1 to 8, really 2 games separating. In Syracuse, they were right into it after that buzzer beater against Clemson. Now this is going to hurt their chances for a regular season championship.
Well, it will, but you know, he's got plenty of time to recover. I mean, you got 4 or 5 games left. Now the problem he's got, let's see, I guess he plays Louisville twice and maybe even Virginia one more time. I'm not sure, but everybody in the league has got a tough schedule. There's no question about that. Now, listen, we're looking at 4 points. Is all it is. I mean, it's 18 seconds to go, and they've got to handle the ball effectively here without turning the ball over. They don't need another point. What they need is handle the ball, go to the free throw line, make shots if you are.
Artis is going to the line with 16.5. He's got 14 points, 73% shooter.
Yeah, that time, instead of throwing the ball into the dead corner, they ran him from half court down and ran the ball and threw the ball to him. Nice. That was drawn up very nicely by Kevin Sollins. Syracuse press has been very effective. I have always felt that Jim Boeheim, though he is a zone coach, he has always had an underrated man-to-man and always an underrated press.
Artis knocks them both down. He's got 16, 4 in double figures for the Panthers.
2 possession
15 seconds. Andrew White the third. Long rebound out to Gillen. Gillen for 3. Yes.
Play on. 1 possession.
There's the foul. This time Jeter's going back to the line. 3.3, 78-75.
Now, he got by with that. Jeter threw the ball back to Artis, but he threw the ball right to the basket. If that thing had been intercepted, my goodness, it would have been, they could have gotten a 3 out of that. You don't want to throw the ball back to your opponent's basket.
So Gillen, the ACC Player of the Week, with 18 after that 3. Jeter with 12. Most importantly, he's hitting his free throws.
And, of course, the crowd is acknowledging that it is now safely a 2-possession game.
Knocks them both down.
How about the crowd today, Mike? Filled it up. Peterson Center.
They've been entertained, and they're loving it. There's the final shot. 80-75. The 5-game winning streak for Syracuse ends. Pittsburgh makes it back-to-back. For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, check out theacc.com. Our next telecast on most of these ACC network stations next Wednesday at 8 Eastern. Some of them you'll see number 8, North Carolina against NC State. Others will get Georgia Tech at Miami. You've been watching coverage of the Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. For Dave Odom and the entire ACC Network crew, Mike Gleason saying so long from Pittsburgh.